love to switch some nitty gritty.
Yeah, we can share ideas. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it is 11 o'clock. Guys, it is the Power Half Hour. And today we have a very, very special guest, one of my favorite people at EXP. You know, we met about 2 years ago, I think.
I
And
say so, yeah.
it's been such a pleasure. We've been, exchanging referrals back and forth. She's out of Victoria, B.C. And the team now is on track for 250 transactions, guys. They did 125. They're doubling this year. So she's going to share with us some great insights on building a team. But without further ado, Patricia Kiteke, welcome.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, John. Thanks so much for having me today.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We've been planning this for a long time. I remember actually last year when I asked you, like, no, I don't want to speak. I'm very nervous and whatnot. But you're coming into your own now. You're willing to share. Thank you for being here.
Totally.
So
Yeah,
tell
it's been
us
a
a little
great
bit
year.
about. Oh yeah. Tell us about your year last year.
Absolutely. So, I mean, and actually it was funny, I work very closely with my husband. My husband's sort of the numbers guy. He's always behind the scenes tweaking and making sure that we're hitting our targets and hitting our goals. And we kind of look back on last year. And the funny thing about our numbers is we hit them between September. So it all came in the second half of the year. I mean, everybody kind of remembers January, February was okay.
Yes.
Then March hit. And then we didn't, and then there was this kind of like period of stuntedness. And then a lot of the growth came in the second half of last year.
Right.
And so a lot of that we were kind of analyzing it and rethinking, why were we so positioned for the bounce, as you would say, coming out of the first COVID lockdowns and things like that. And it was because we kept working right through them. And so we kept working, kept doing key and core activities, and then really saw that pay off in the second half of the year.
Yeah. So, when luck is when you are prepared for the opportunity, and you guys were prepared for the opportunity.
Totally.
But you've been working hard, building a team. So,
Yeah.
but tell us how you got started in real estate.
Yeah, well, I got started in real estate. I was in university, and really, I walked into a show home. I wanted a job at a show home because I thought it would be like a nice, quiet place to study for my exams. So I was like, okay, that's a great job. And that was right going into a boom. So very similar to what we're having now, early 2000s. And I was just in school, and I ended up going into like one of the busiest times to sell real estate as an assistant for a really busy builder. So they were building about 365 homes a year when I started. So I got no studying done, but I got a lot of learning and a lot of experience under my belt. And so that helped me kind of start a career, sort of seeing what a high producing office looked like and what high producing sales team looked like as well.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And when was that? Early 2000s, you're thinking?
Early 2000s, yeah. And so then fast forward, my husband and I moved from Alberta to BC, and
Okay.
which was a great move. We wanted to live the West Coast lifestyle, and so we went from sort of that environment to post 2008, right? So everything kind of changed, and the market was like dead, and it was very, very still. And so we also had to build up from scratch.
Right.
So I joined a brokerage, started building the business up again. And I kind of had this moment where, I walked into the office and I saw an agent who had been in the industry for 25 years, and they were still chasing their month. And I don't know if you know what that's like as a salesperson. You got your hustle on, you're chasing your month. And I remember thinking, if I don't start doing things differently, that's gonna be the same thing. It was like a look into the future, like you're watching Christmas Carol, and it's like the ghost of Christmas future that you see there in front of you, right? And I just realized, if I don't start building in systems or start building the type of business that can be bigger than myself and what I can do every day and what I can do every month, I'm gonna be chasing my month every single time, even after 25 years.
That's right. And we don't want to be in that position, guys. So, really start to leverage yourself a lot sooner than you think you should. So I guess it's been like 12, 13 years since you've been in BC. When did
Yeah.
you start building a team, a real estate team?
So I started building a real estate team in 2018. So kind of,
Okay.
and I should say my husband and I took a bit of a break between 2008 and 2010, did a little mini retirement, and then I started back building my business in 2010. In 2018 is when we decided we got to build something bigger. So we brought on the first few agents, made our first hires. And I mean, guys, honestly, John's right. It shouldn't take 8 years of doing this to do it. But that's kind of my trajectory. And I got to a place where I was selling a lot of real estate and I was performing at a high level. And so, that feels really good. But again, just the reminder that are you building something that has an exit strategy and that's going to be producing when you're not producing as well?
Mm. So it had to be bigger than yourself. And then you wanted the leverage, and you don't want to be chasing your months, so to speak, by, year 15, year 16. So
Yeah.
I've seen the journey, because we met in 2019 and you
Yeah.
guys were already doing 100 deals. So what do you think is a switch between,
Mm.
last year 125 and this year you guys going straight to 250? What is a switch there?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So a couple of things too is our agents who had come on board and who we were coaching and training, they really started producing at a high level as well. So they were leveling up what they were doing, and we as a team were leveling up what we were doing. But I'm going to give a couple of shout outs: Anais O'Neill, Calvin Lamb, Milan Scott. These guys really took what the training, the coaching, the mentorship, the lead conversion, and started producing at a high level with it.
Mm.
And so that kind of caused a ripple effect where we were all able to level up. And then also the new agents now. So as we've got new agents coming in, of course, there's more agents that are coming on board to produce deals. But the new agents have really strong examples of successful team leads in front of them, showing them how you go from 0 deals to 25 deals in your first year, and then being able to double that year over year as well.
Amazing, amazing. So you talked about this conversion university, but with Dale, what's it called again?
Yeah, Conversion University, Smart Inside
Conversion.
Sales. If you Google that, that'll help you with your lead conversion for sure.
Oh my gosh. Guys, listen up. If you're starting to build a team, that's where you should go. And we've seen the success with Patricia, so it works. For myself, I think being a leader is tough. And I've struggled my way through, started building a team in 2016 because I could no longer work 7 days a week, 12, 14-hour
Totally.
days. I knew I was going to burn out, and I did.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
went beyond that. Now, it took me a while to, switch from being a single agent mindset to becoming a great leader. What to you are the great qualities of becoming a great leader and, being able to lead people?
Yeah. That's a really important question because I think too, in the beginning, you almost feel like, I'm so good at sales. And I can control sales and I can control my own activities. So, that's where you're used to producing, and then making that switch to, hey, I want to empower others to be able to accomplish results that that I was able to accomplish in my business. And the things that you have to do on a day-to-day are so different as a leader than as a high producing agent.
Ooh.
So you spend, you really have to figure out, okay, well, what do I have to offer to pay forward to help other people generate deals? So coaching and training. So instead of getting good at just doing the deals, you have to get your business out of your head and now get good at teaching others how they can become good at it.
Mm.
So that's, I think, one thing. So being able to provide the coaching and the training. You have to be able to provide leads. So you have to have figured out your lead gen. You have to figure out the systems. You have to be able to go, okay, I'm going to become good at hiring people and recruiting people and admins to support my agents so that they can produce on a high level. So you really have to go outside of what do my clients need and now start looking at what do my agents need. And that's
Ooh.
a mind shift for sure.
It's a huge mindset shift. And, I think Tony Robbins said this, like, if you want a raving culture out here, you got to have a raving fan culture within the team first. And you
Yeah,
know what, you're actually your biggest and best customers are your team members, your partners within the business.
yeah, yeah,
And I just started to realize that because, you know, when I started, I don't know if it was like this for you. It was kind of like, they work for me, but that's not the case. In fact,
right.
I work for them.
Yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? That was a big mindset shift. And
Mhm,
you know, I just want to say congratulations because I've seen the growth and I'm just
mhm.
so happy for you to guys to you know, step from 125 all the way to 250,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
what do you think is that you need to do, or you know, for the crowd, what we need to do for the second half of the year to become successful?
Mhm. Well, I mean, I think it's maintain. I mean, John, you are you understand consistency probably better than anyone I've ever met, right? So it's doing the key core activities that you know will lead to results. And so we're often, you know, we always talk about the highest leverage activities, your HLAs, figuring out what those are, not getting bogged down by things that don't make you money. And actually, I was, you know, thinking about, you know, our chat before this a little bit. And one thing that my husband and I say often is that busyness equals, or it's a kind of a new mantra, busyness equals weakness. And
Mm,
it's a weird thing to think about, but if you start thinking about um, all the things you do that are difficult in your business, those are actually the hard activities, but they're very few, and you really only need to do a few things, but they're the hardest parts of the business, and it's usually rooted in prospecting and conversion.
right.
The stuff like delivering keys, running around to an inspection, you know, there's a whole bunch of other things, and we convince ourselves often that busyness is what our clients need. It's how we best serve our clients, you know, and nobody can do it but me, they love me. But really, that kind of stuff eats up your time, and it doesn't actually get you the high results that you're looking for. So we often say, like, doing the hard parts of the job, they're very few, but doing those consistently day in and day out is really what an agent wants to be focusing on.
Yeah, so really it's about income producing activities versus income servicing activities. Because
Yes,
you know, I can run keys all day, but as an agent, is that my highest producing activity, right?
that's right.
So on your team, then let's just say Calvin, you know,
Yep.
what would be his day? What would that look like for him?
hmm So for Calvin, he's either, and I hope it's okay that I'm speaking for him, but yeah, he's either on the phone with clients, or showing property, or negotiating deals.
Mm,
That's really the core of Calvin's day. I mean, there is a little bit of, you know, finding the right home and things like that, that you have to go through, and knowing the inventory. But when you're out in the field, if you're, you know, if you're performing at a high level, you're going to have a really good pulse of what the inventory is. And there's not much these days at this point. But really, he's so in tune with his clients' needs, and speaking to how they can become successful and securing the right opportunities.
I just gotta say, Calvin is a superstar, and you got a great one. And you know, and if you guys have any referrals for Victoria, please reach out to Calvin.
Yes.
I don't talk to anybody else. I think I talked to Brent a couple times,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
Calvin is kind of our go-to guy. So please give him kudos for me. I don't know if he's on the call right now, but he's awesome. So let me ask you this: how do you attract these people?
hmm Agents.
Yeah.
hmm Oh, well, you know, racehorses want to hang with racehorses, right? So, you get, I think you, sort of project your professionalism, you project your excellence, and you project the fact that you know, that this is a team that values production, and that other people who want to show up and do the work, and if you're willing to take the steps, will get the results as well. So that's one thing. There's obviously, we do advertising, social media, you know, and the building blocks as well. So people come through the front door through one of our advertising channels. There's like things like Wise Hire you can do, and social media as well. And then, you know, from there, there's an intake process. And then we do a 30, 60, 90 day fast track. And that's where people really get a sense of what activities they have to be doing, and what activities you want to do if you're going to hit landmarks and hit goals in the early stages of your career. It also helps them build up the right habits as well.
Wow, that's awesome. So an onboarding program, and then you go into 30, 60, 90. How rigorous is your interview process?
It's pretty rigorous, and for a couple of reasons. First off, just so that everybody's set up with success, because as you know, John, not everybody loves making their daily contacts, doing the activities that they like to do. The other thing too is attending the coaching and the training as well. So we like to lay out the expectations pretty firmly up front. And we also want people to understand that it's 90% expectation for coming to the coaching and the training. So, when you're in front of a client, that's game time. So you don't want to be practicing during game time. You want to be practicing off the field. And that's why there's a lot of training time as well as being with clients.
Wow, you guys got it down pat. And then, realize how you guys are leveling up so fast because you got everything in place.
Right.
So
yeah.
Today, then, you obviously were in that grind of, talking to people, negotiating contracts, prospecting, going on listing appointments, showing buyers. What does your day look like now as a team leader?
So developing coaching curriculum is something that I do. And I also spend a lot of time in the actual coaching and training. So we've got 4 sessions a week. So we do role play. We do coaching calls, and it makes me kind of laugh a little bit because, we sort of say people show up and it's a grind, right? But it's about getting better. And like having the right agents that want to be there and are encouraged to get better is always great. But so for me, my time is spent in coaching and training, and then also in developing larger systems. So knowing the parts of the business that needs to get stronger. So we have a lot of great foundation, but are there things we could tighten up in our listing coordination to make the process better for the seller clients? Are there things to tighten up on the buy side coordination that we need to look at? What can we do to increase our marketing and expand our reach and build the brand? So those are the things that you start to look at as a leader when you get out of the production side of the business.
Wow. Okay. So really it's working on the business consistently. Do you still prospect?
Well, John, yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
But I prospect differently than I used to. And as well, I don't handle the day-to-day sales anymore.
Gotcha. So you are there to cultivate and attract more clients and bring in more opportunities for the team.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day part, it's like a client comes in and then it's like, okay, well, Calvin, you got this.
Yeah.
And
Or any number of the agents. Absolutely. And so again, like the team leads have really leveled up. And also, I spend time helping them develop their leadership skills as well. And as you know, especially with EXP and the brokerage that it is, our mindset and our where the place we come from is that we're leaders training leaders. So we also don't want to see a position where agents aren't expected to join our team and then stay here and produce for the rest of their lives. That's not what we're setting up. Right. We want to show our agents how they can develop their own teams as well, and develop their own leadership skills, even if it's within the team, so that they're helping send the elevator back down and pay it forward to new agents that are just starting in the industry.
Tell me a little bit more about that. The analogy of sending the elevator back down.
Yeah, sure. So, as you grow yourself and as you develop your skills, I think sometimes some of us fail to realize how much we have to offer somebody who isn't at that same stage in their business yet. So, you and I, we talk about developing the team, but an agent who's been doing this business for 2 or 3 years and at a high level, right? Because our team minimums are 25 deals a year. So if you've been doing, if you've done 50 deals to 75 deals within your second to third year, that's a lot of experience. And you might be able to turn around and say to someone, hey, look, I know that you haven't even done your first deal yet, but I'm going to teach you everything I know. Why don't you come to my showings? Why don't you come and see how I do it? Why don't you see what my first consultation looks like?
Wow.
And so, you know what I mean? So we believe in cultivating skills and growing at every level. So right from beginner all the way up.
Okay. So you really have systems for
Oh,
newbies
I
to come
think we're
and take.
frozen.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. No, we're good. We're good. So you have systems for newbies to come in
we're
forward,
good. Yeah.
and then they'll know exactly what to do from day one, all the way to, closing the sale.
Yes.
Have someone that's your team
Yes.
leads would help them and teach them, cultivate them until they could be on their own, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it falls in our 30, 60, 90 days. So, you know what I mean? So you've got beginner training, you've got people holding your hand, helping you, because where we kind of come from is the course doesn't really teach people how to run successful real estate businesses. People get licensed and then they walk out into the world and they're not sure how to spend their time, what activities they need to do. Plus, they may not necessarily even know how to process a deal or write a successful contract, or what's best practices at showing. We had a funny one the other day when just something as simple as showing up to show condos and never having opened a lockbox before. It seems simple to us, but I mean, if you've
Right.
never done it, you've never done it, right? So
Exactly. You don't know what you don't know, and then
you don't know what you don't know.
you don't want to be throwing people into the fire when they don't know what to do with the fire, right? And that's
Yeah.
kind of how I started. It was just like fumbling all over the place. So
Yes.
you obviously didn't do it alone, right? And I want you to talk about maybe a little bit about Cliff and how he supports you,
Mm,
and
yeah.
you have coaches along the way that taught you all this 30, 60, 90-day stuff, or did you figure it all out yourself?
No, I did not figure it all out myself, John. And yeah, that's exactly it. So, surrounding yourself by the right people. If there's, one thing I wish I could go back in time and do differently, it's get the right people around you faster. And
Mm,
so, when we hired Cliff, he became our business coach. My husband and I, my husband came on board as well. So I didn't, I really had the right support around me. We hired Cliff, and he just really eliminated time, and he cut through the wasted time, wasted energy, wasted money, wasted effort, and said, these are the things you have to do to hit success.
wow.
I think you quote Tony Robbins. He's one of my favorite people, and I love his saying, success leaves clues.
Hmm.
Right? We know that if we follow other people who found the ways to do things properly, we can cut out so much wasted time and effort and resources. So that was it. He got us where we needed to go very quickly.
So Cliff is our sponsor and your direct sponsor, and
Yeah,
Cliff is phenomenal. And if you guys aren't following Cliff Freeman on Facebook, go follow him. He's got
yeah,
some really really cool stuff. So really, it's about surrounding yourself with people who are doing a lot more than you, who
yeah,
have done it before, and who's willing to help you. And Cliff
yes.
is willing to help us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's coached hundreds of agents all across North America. So he really knows from day one to team leads, and helping you understand where to take it and build that exit strategy as well. So that was something that really aligned with the brokerage goals, and then B, the type of people who want to be building a business, but then wanting to be able to build exit strategies. As real estate agents, you don't have an exit strategy. If all you do is sell real estate, you're just going to have to keep selling more and more real estate. So you need to have other pillars in your business as well.
I saw that in my 13th year in business,
Mhm.
working 7 days a week. I finally saw that, I was gonna die. I wasn't gonna retire. I was gonna die
Yeah.
first. So it was exit strategy, guys. That's why we're here where we are. Is that how you met Cliff? You hired him as a coach first, and then you became his partner at EXP?
Yes, but EXP wasn't even on the radar when Cliff and I started working together.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, yeah. So we kind of go way back,
Way back.
way back. Yeah, yeah. So probably about 2016. I mean, EXP wasn't even in BC when we started coaching with them. So yes, and you're right, John. So it was looking at, what do I want to be in the future? And do I want the efforts that I put in today to grow into something else down the road? Because time's going to pass one way or another. We're
Yeah.
5 years is coming, whether we like it or not. You
Yeah.
have to sell the real estate today. You have to bring the revenue in today. But then you also want to make sure that your efforts are building something else that's still going to be there for you tomorrow as well.
Yeah, for sure. Think the long game, guys, and surround yourself with people that can support you in your goals sooner, right? Don't wait. I did it all alone in my first 10 years. I was too timid to reach out to people and ask questions, but I soon figured out, that's why I grew so slowly. But then I had a catapult after I started joining masterminds. You're fantastic. I just want to say you're a phenomenal person. You're a great leader. You just had this that you, if I could say, you have the it factor. You just have this like, okay. So tell me more about that. Like, were you always charismatic like this, or did you work at it?
I'm probably a bit of both, I would say, John. And I really want to say that not things don't just happen for you by accident. There's a very small few of us who just have everything handed to us. So yes, I have some natural, like I like people, I like talking to people. There's a bit of that, but I had to train and practice skills.
Mm,
And John, you like you said, I never wanted to talk on in public or speak in public. And
yeah.
so I had to say to myself, I got to make this a priority. If I'm going to be the leader that I need to be, I have to be able to get out and speak, and I have to, at least get the skills to empower my own team and the people that work with me. So I'd say yes, rely on your God-given talents, but you also 100% have to sharpen and develop skills and be constantly training and you may not know something over here, and once you figure it out, you have to go out and train on those skills.
Interesting. So it's a bit of both. And
Yeah.
yeah, you've grown so much ever since I met you as well. And I definitely noticed that. And guys, I asked her this year to come on the show. She's like, I'm excited. Last year she was like, I don't know if I'm quite ready yet. Right.
Right.
So you really, really did work on yourself. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the encouragement big time.
Always, always. I get a lot from you. So thank you for that as well. So we got a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
What are maybe two pieces of advice for the audience to let us really, really finish the year strong?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, so I think we hit on it, but surround yourself with the right people. So in real estate, most people become realtors because they want no boss, they want flexible schedule, and they want unlimited income. And it doesn't work out that you just join real estate and all those things come together for you. And that's why real estate has a high attrition. 84% of agents quit in their first year. And if you don't want to not become that statistic, surround yourself by the right people, join the right teams and masterminds, get the coaching immediately. As soon as you can, don't wait. That would be my biggest piece of advice.
Mhm.
And then implement fast. That would be the second thing that I would say to people. A lot of us hear stuff and then we sit on it. And that doesn't, and then, you lose your steam. It doesn't get you where you're trying to go. Implement as quickly as possible, learn your lessons, take your hard knocks, and you'll get where you're trying to go quickly.
Awesome. So ready, fire, aim, implement fast. You can always adjust, guys. I got one question for you.
Yes. Yeah, you
Uh,
bet.
what classes would you recommend so we can become a better leader and speaker?
So Toastmasters was huge for me to become a better speaker. Um, so I actually set a bit of an audacious goal for myself to give a TEDx talk at the end of this year. And yes, exactly. And there's actually, I joined a course for TEDx speakers. So that's something that, so you can find maybe a speaking group out there, but Toastmasters should get you where you're going. Leadership, so that's for speaking. Second, for leadership, we have been doing this course, my husband and I, called Hero's Journey. It's by Darren Hardy, and it's all about leadership and creating the right cultures and dynamics within your teams. And Darren Hardy's amazing. He's the guru.
Oh my gosh. Guys, we got so much out of half an hour. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing all your secrets and really helping us. And a lot of us on the call in the Facebook community, I'm sure they would want to join you and know more from you. How do we get a hold of you? And if people want to join your team, how do they search for you?
Absolutely. So it's my last name, kiteke.ca. Just hop on the website. There's a contact me button. There's a mastermind button if you want to mastermind with us. Anything you click on the site will come to us.
Amazing. You know what? I can't thank you enough for today. I got a lot of value for myself. So for selfish reasons, thank you. And I'm sure the audience, thank you as well. So, here we have it, guys. Make it a great day. And Patricia, thank you again. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, John. Have a wonderful
All the
day.
best for the goals.